Mickey Mantle was limping to home plate. His knee was destroyed. Everyone could see it. The trainers, the crowd, the cameras, and Ted Williams, the greatest hitter in baseball, was standing in the on-deck circle, watching, smiling. Then he said something loud enough for 35,000 people to hear. "You're finished, kid." The Red Sox dugout erupted in laughter. Mickey gripped his bat. Strike one, strike two. His knee almost gave out. Williams shook his head. The crowd went silent. Then Robin Roberts threw one more pitch, and Mickey Mantle hit it 420 feet over the green monster, on one leg. What happened next when Ted Williams walked over to home plate changed everything. This is that story. Fenway Park, July 1956. The sun was setting over the green monster, casting long shadows across the diamond. Mickey Mantle stood in the dugout, both hands gripping the railing so hard his knuckles had turned white. Not from nerves, from pain. His right knee felt like someone had driven a railroad spike through it. Every step sent lightning up his leg. He'd already wrapped it twice that day. The trainer had looked at him like he was insane for even suiting up. "You can't play on that," the trainer had said 3 hours earlier. Mantle had just stared back. "Watch me." But now, in the 6th inning of the All-Star game, with the American League down by 2 and the National League's ace dealing heat, Mickey wasn't so sure. He watched Billy Martin ground out weakly, watched Yogi pop up to short. The dugout was silent. Everyone knew what was coming. Mantle's turn. Casey Stengel, the Yankees manager, didn't even look at him, just pointed toward the bat rack with one finger. It wasn't a suggestion. Mickey grabbed his bat, the 35-inch Louisville slugger he'd used since May, and started the longest walk of his life. 70 feet from dugout to batter's box. 70 feet that felt like 70 miles. His limp was impossible to hide. The crowd noticed immediately. Fenway Park, normally a cauldron of noise, went strangely quiet. You could hear his cleats scraping against the dirt. Every single step. That's when Ted Williams saw him. Williams was standing near the on-deck circle, waiting his turn in the lineup. He'd been the greatest hitter in baseball for a decade. 2 MVP awards. A .406 season that nobody had touched since. At 37 years old, he was everything Mickey wanted to be, if his body didn't give out first. Their eyes met. Williams looked down at Mickey's knee, then back up at his face. And then Ted Williams did something that would haunt Mickey for the next 60 seconds. He smiled. Not a friendly smile. Not a respectful smile. A smile that said, "I know. You're finished, kid." Williams said it loud enough for the first 3 rows to hear. Loud enough for the umpire to glance over. Loud enough for Mickey to stop mid-step, his jaw clenching so tight he thought his teeth might crack. "That knee's done," Williams continued, adjusting his batting gloves like he was talking about the weather. "You're 24 years old, and you're already falling apart. Hell of a career, Mick. Real short one." The Red Sox dugout erupted in laughter. Mickey didn't respond, couldn't respond, because part of him, the part that had been screaming at him for 3 months, wondered if Ted was right. He stepped into the box. The pitcher Robin Roberts was dealing. One of the best in the National League. Fastball, curveball, change-up. He had everything. And he knew Mickey was hurt. Everyone knew. Roberts wound up. First pitch, fastball, high and tight. Mickey flinched. Didn't even swing. The crowd murmured. Strike one. Williams, now in the on-deck circle, shook his head slowly, made sure Mickey could see it. Second pitch, curveball, low and away. Mickey lunged at it, his knee almost buckling as he tried to reach. Weak ground ball foul down the third base line. Strike two. The trainer in the Yankees dugout stood up, ready to call Mickey back. Stengel put a hand on his shoulder, sat him back down. This wasn't about baseball anymore. This was about pride. Mickey stepped out of the box, took a breath. His knee was throbbing, his hands were shaking. He could hear Williams behind him, could feel those eyes boring into his back. "You're finished, kid." Roberts got the sign. Fastball, middle in, put him away. The wind-up, the release. And Mickey Mantle did something that defied every law of physics, every doctor's diagnosis, every cruel word Ted Williams had just said. He turned on it. The sound was different. Everyone who was there that day would say the same thing later. When Mickey's bat made contact, it didn't sound like wood hitting leather. It sounded like a gunshot. Sharp, final, definitive. The ball exploded off his bat. It rose over Roberts' head before he could even turn around, climbed over the shortstop's glove like he wasn't there, kept rising over the left fielder, who didn't even bother running. He just stopped, turned, watched. The ball sailed toward the green monster, and over it, and kept going. It cleared the monster by 40 feet, cleared the street behind it, landed somewhere in the Fenway neighborhood, probably in someone's living room. Nobody ever found it. 420 feet, maybe more, on one leg. Mickey didn't watch it land. He was too busy trying not to collapse. He limped around first base, his knees screaming with every step. Second base felt like climbing Everest. By the time he hit third, the entire American League dugout was on the top step, cheering. But Mickey wasn't looking at them. He was looking at home plate, where Ted Williams was standing. Williams had walked over from the on-deck circle. He was waiting. As Mickey limped toward him, their eyes locked again. But this time there was no smile, no mockery, no cruelty, just respect. Mickey touched home plate. Williams extended his hand. "I was wrong," Ted said quietly, just loud enough for Mickey to hear. "You're not finished. You're just getting started." Mickey shook his hand, didn't say a word, didn't need to. The handshake lasted 3 seconds. To everyone watching, it looked like a simple gesture of sportsmanship. But to Mickey, it was something else entirely. It was validation, from the man who knew what it took to be great, from the man who understood the price, from the man who had just tried to break him, and watched him refuse to break. Mickey limped back to the dugout. His teammates mobbed him. Yogi was screaming. Billy was laughing. Stengel just nodded once, the way he always did when words weren't enough. But Mickey barely heard any of it. Because his knee was on fire. Because he knew he'd probably just made it worse. Because he knew that in 6 hours, he'd be in a hotel room with ice bags and pain pills, wondering if he'd ever walk normally again. But none of that mattered. Because Ted Williams, the greatest hitter alive, had just told him he was wrong. And Mickey Mantle had proved it with one swing. The aftermath that night. Back at the hotel, Mickey sat alone in his room. The knee was already swelling. Tomorrow he'd see the team doctor. Tomorrow he'd get the lecture about playing through injuries. Tomorrow the pain would be worse. But tonight he had something else. A newspaper, early edition. Someone had slipped it under his door. The headline, "Mantle defies Williams silences Fenway with 420-foot blast." Underneath, a quote from Ted Williams himself. "I've seen a lot of hitters in my time, but I've never seen anyone hit a ball that far on one leg. If that kid can stay healthy, he'll be the greatest player who ever lived." Mickey folded the paper, set it on the nightstand, turned off the light. His knee would hurt tomorrow. It would hurt the day after that. It would hurt for the rest of his career. Hell, it would hurt for the rest of his life. But tonight he was the kid who made Ted Williams walk over. And that was enough. 3 weeks later, Yankee Stadium. Late July. Mickey was in the trainer's room again, getting his knee drained for the 4th time that month. It was a routine now. Pain, ice, needle, repeat. The door opened. Casey Stengel walked in, holding a telegram. "This just came for you," Casey said, handing it over. Mickey unfolded it. "Read it twice, to make sure he wasn't hallucinating from the pain medication." Mickey heard about the knee. Heard they want you to rest. Don't listen. The greats play hurt. That's what separates us from everyone else. See you in October. Ted. Mickey stared at the telegram for a long time. Then he folded it carefully, put it in his locker, right next to the newspaper clipping from Fenway. 2 pieces of paper, 2 reminders. One from the moment he proved everyone wrong. One from the man who understood what it took. The trainer finished wrapping his knee. "You're good to go. But Mickey, seriously, if you keep playing on this, you're going to destroy it. You might not have a career left in 5 years." Mickey stood up, tested his weight. The knee screamed. He ignored it. "Then I better make these 5 years count," he said. And he walked out of the trainer's room. October 1956 World Series. Game 5. Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the 9th. Mickey Mantle, batting against the Dodgers. Don Newcomb. Same knee, same pain, same limp. He hit one 475 feet. In the clubhouse afterward, someone asked him how he did it. Mickey thought about Ted Williams, about Fenway, about that handshake, about the telegram still sitting in his locker. "Some days," Mickey said quietly, "you just don't let the pain win." They won the World Series 3 games later. Mickey was named MVP. His knee never got better, but he never stopped playing. 1995. Cooperstown, Hall of Fame weekend. Mickey Mantle, 63 years old now, sat in a wheelchair. The knees had finally given out completely. 2 replacements, arthritis, decades of pain catching up all at once. A reporter asked him about his career, about the injuries, about whether he regretted playing through the pain. Mickey was quiet for a moment. "There was this game," he said finally. "All-Star Game, 1956. Fenway Park. Ted Williams told me I was finished." The reporter leaned in. "What'd you do?" Mickey smiled. That same smile from 40 years ago. The one that said, "Watch me. I hit the ball 420 feet. And Ted walked over to shake my hand." "Was that your favorite moment?" Mickey shook his head. "No. My favorite moment was 3 weeks later, when I got a telegram from him. It said, 'The greats play hurt.' That's what separates us from everyone else." "Did you keep it?" "Still have it. Right next to the newspaper clipping from that day." The reporter closed his notebook, started to walk away, then turned back. "Do you think Ted was right about playing hurt?" Mickey looked down at his legs. The wheelchair, the price he'd paid for 20 years of refusing to quit. "I think Ted understood something most people don't," Mickey said. "It's not about how long you play. It's about how you play. And when someone like Ted Williams walks over to shake your hand, you remember that forever, even if your knees don't." The reporter nodded, started to leave again. "Hey," Mickey called after him. "You want to know the truth? The real truth?" "Yeah, that home run at Fenway. My knee was so bad that day, I could barely walk. The trainers wanted to scratch me,
Casey wanted to scratch me. Hell, I wanted to scratch myself. So why didn't you? Mickey smiled. Because Ted Williams said I was finished. And I'll be damned if I was going to let him be right. The legacy Mickey Mantle hit 536 home runs in his career. Won 3 MVP awards. 7 World Series championships. Made 18 All-Star teams. But he never forgot Fenway Park. July 1956. The limp. The pain. Ted Williams' words. You're finished, kid. And he never forgot what came after. 420 feet. The handshake. The telegram. The proof that the greats don't quit. They just hit it farther. Even on one leg. Especially on one leg.